Uh, be nice. Be nice, be respectful. These are just based off personal experiences. These are not to make anybody more uncomfortable than need be. Meaning, like, it's not supposed to feel like a personal attack. But if you, this is an exercise of empathy. I wrote all of these poems in a day because I was feeling very upset. I was having a falling out with a multiple friend of multiple to the years. In the US, we're in a very heated political climate right now. And it's very difficult for someone whose ancestors come from all over the world and live somewhere where you're not protected. When people who should protect you don't. When people who should stand up sit down. Where people live in bliss because they're ignorant and they have their own lives and they are wrapped up in it, then you can't really blame them. Like, everyone has their own lives. But then you're kind of sitting here thinking, like, they don't care. And I want to tell you and anyone who feels this way that you do care. Well, I care. You do matter. Like Trump, right? Just because I share something with someone doesn't make me like them. I draw. Am I like Hitler? But when I'm Christian, it's because I'm like Trump. You wouldn't like it when it played to your values. If you're gay, you're a freak, right? If you're trans, you're a backstabber, right? You would say it depends to base to base, not because of their identity, but who they are as a person. But when I'm Christian, it's because I'm like Trump. What's even worse is that he's not Christian. He showcases no Christian values, but I'm beginning to learn and follow in Jesus' footsteps. If you were a devoted Muslim and I compared you to someone evil, and they present themselves in that shared religion, but don't live up to even the basic principles, you would be upset too. You call that a hate crime and that I'm being prejudiced. But I'm Christian, it's okay, right? If I don't support, I'm an enemy. If I simply tell you about my faith, not to convert, I'm bigoted. If I stop being friends with you because of another piece of your identity, I would be a bully. All in all, it doesn't matter. I'm like Trump, right? Red and blue lights. Quinn is scared of cops. Why? They tried to kill her when she was 5. Then later, in her house, forced her to lie. Years passed, they came, and over her crying, they told her she was fine. They ignored their sadness to their racist crimes. They cherry-picked evidence and ignored the signs. No matter how much she whimpered and whined, they'll kill her and her people until they all die. Breath. Does my life only matter when I'm dead? Do bullets? Breath. Does my life only matter when I'm dead? Do my thoughts only matter with bullets in my head? Because it take 1, 2, or 4, but 6 lays down. Only then you remember how their names sound. Only when you really remember on the tip of your tongue. But I could be too, words commemorated for what I would have done. Would that give me the rights to be in your history books? Would that give me the chance to get a second look? Or will we be forgotten again, names lost in a sand, thoughts lost in a wind, charged with the demand of every slave blood that runs through my veins, of a woman's courage in my brain? Only then will my breaths count? Only then will you no longer doubt? No more of the movement of chest, my family crying into my breast, because it doesn't matter until blood is spilled like water and we're all drowning, we're all going under. Will I live up to your fantasy of what it means to live? Will I die even after all of what I give? To breathe so much and to account for so little, only play second, yes, second fiddle to the hands of God in the sight of death. But no, these feelings stay repressed. You hear me, but you're all scared, down to the very spiral of my hair. Maybe when I'm gone, you'll read me in class, wonder how I wrote these poems so fast. Then you'll care about me and my soul, but only after the body has long went cold. thank you all so much for listening. Here are the final photos for what I drew for each part. Yay! Um, sorry this is such like a really heavy, really heavy, really heavy stuff. Next time it'll be like another OC lore video because I can and I love it. That will be beginning to get ready for summer. Those are really gonna be really fun videos to make because I'm making lists and stuff. And I really do like organizing and making lists. Oh my goodness. And we'll dive in more into my writing. Not more poems though. And I do plan on getting these poems published. I um I want to become a published author when I'm older, besides being like my main job, which is going to be an anesthesiologist. But I know this video is like really, really short this week. But after next week's video, because next week's video is kind of tough because we're talking about some of my OCs and I love traumatizing them. But after that, we'll be getting into the summer. Also, Garden Hearts first episode comes out next month. May 27th, I believe. Hold on. I read it in my calendar. Goodness. May 29th, I'm sorry. May 29th. So, you should definitely watch that. Okay, love you. Bye.